had the idea to reverse engineer longevity. So instead of looking for answers in test tubes or petri dishes, to find the areas in the world where people live the longest and then find the common denominators. And that was the idea. National Geographic assigned me a story and I got a grant, and that was 25 years ago, and I'm still coming to blue zones. In order to be considered a blue zone, we very carefully look at every birth record, and then we go into the church and cross-reference it to the baptismal record, and then we do the same thing with the death records. And we count up the number of people who've reached age 90 or older, and then we look at that concentration and we compare it to international averages. And blue zones are the top. They have the highest concentrations of people who've made it over 90 in a 150-year period. I wrote a cover story for National Geographic, and it was very successful. I thought, let's go find more blue zones. So I called my partner, Michel Poulon, a demographer, and we looked at worldwide census data to look for the lowest rates of mortality. And we found both in Crete and Ikaria, there was very high proportions of people making it to 90. And that gave us the first hint. And our first job was to come verify ages, which took us 8 days. And they're very good records in the municipalities here. And after 8 days of researching and then some calculations, we determined that this was one of the longest lived places in the world. So one of the most interesting facets of Ikaria are the role of herbs, especially rosemary, oregano, sage, and catnip. So these herbs are used for medicines, they're used to flavor food, and they're used as teas. And when we look for something that contributes to longevity, we're looking for something that people have done their entire lives. Because when it comes to longevity, there's nothing you can do today and expect it to have an impact. And the fact that they're drinking these teas made from herbs, we were very interested in that. And the University of Athens analyzed these herbs and found they were antioxidants, anti-inflammatories, and they were diuretics, which lower blood pressure. So we hypothesized that these herbs might be playing a role in Ikaria's longevity. It's counterintuitive. First of all, there's good wine throughout Greece, and there's good olive oil in Greece. I think it has more to do with the attitude of the people and quite honestly, their sense of community. More and more we're finding that longevity is a communal activity. It's not a solitary thing. And Ikaria's communist past, I think, actually contributes to the longevity. Why? Because people come together in hard times. They support themselves. They have these panegyris that aren't just about staying up all night and dancing. There's always a fundraising element to help a family that's having a hard time or a school. So people are really connected here, and we know very clearly that lonely people die early, and people aren't lonely on this island. So if you want to live longer, don't try to change your behavior because you'll fail. Change your environment. And actually, the insight occurred to me right here. I met this man named Stamitis Moriaitis who developed lung cancer, came to Ikaria and lived for another 35 years or so. And that could be a complete fluke, but it still got me thinking, what is it about the landscape of Ikaria that would shape people's daily habits to help them live longer? And if you look around, everything is uphill. They have a very low sense of time urgency. If somebody invites you to lunch, you can come at 10 or you can come at 4 in the afternoon. It doesn't matter. I think that equals lower stress. Wild greens grow all over, and it's the type of things that we Americans spray with glyphosate. Here they're cutting it down and making beautiful salads and orta and pies. It's an environment where healthy food is traditional, where socializing is the main form of entertainment, and people are constantly moving, either going to their friend's house or working in gardens. And all of that adds up to an extra 8 years of life expectancy. One of the things we found were that men over 90 used to smoke. The vast majority of them used to smoke. Most of them quit, and they're still living extraordinarily long. So I think that offers a really good lesson for people, that if you're smoking now, you can quit and still live a long time. Natural movement is infinitely more important than exercise. We didn't evolve to sit in an office or on a couch all day long and then get up for 1 hour a day and go to the gym or lift weights. When you think of our earliest ancestors, they were moving all the time, finding wood, building fires, foraging for food, hunting. When you look at the lifestyle, the traditional lifestyle of Ikaria, people are moving all the time, gardening, cooking, kneading bread, walking to different people's houses. It's a culture of constant activity, and that's more important than running marathons, pumping irons, or going to Pilates class. I think the mistake people make is that they can move here from their culture and they'll automatically start living longer. It's a good idea to visit Ikaria. The thing to take home are the lessons, and the idea that you can shape your home or your workplace so that you're nudged into moving more. The idea that you should be eating mostly a whole food, plant-based diet with lots of beans and grains and greens is something you can take home. The importance of making an effort to connect socially. And then people here have a very strong sense of identity, a very strong sense of purpose. You ask Icarians to tell us what their nationality is, and they'll often say, I'm an Icarian first, and then they'll say, I'm a Greek. And I think it's really important to know what your values are, what your passions are, what you're good at, and you have an outlet for it. And that's a lesson easily distilled from this area. The most important secret is to learn how to make beans taste good. And here they have black-eyed peas, they have garbanzos, they have lentils. They have 30 different ways to make them taste delicious. Why beans? Because we know that people who eat at least a cup of beans a day live about 4 years longer than people who don't eat beans. It's the healthiest food. Americans have no idea how to make them taste good. Icarians are masters at making beans taste good. So get an Icarian bean recipe, take it home, learn how to make it, and we'll see you when you're 100. We are going to love our children, love our land, love our history, live the way we want to live, and if you don't like it, go home.